This is question number 4 on homework 7 for module 7 and 8. Um, so we're provided with this table is part of the items on this table are missing. You can see that, which actually asks us to calculate and fill in the blanks. So let me just briefly read the setup. On its Form 10-K for the year ended December 31st, 2015, Bank of America Corp. reported information related to basic earnings per share. Fill in the missing information. Rounding instruction. Round answer A to 2 decimal places. So A is here, which is basic earnings per share. Round answer B, C, and D to the nearest median. So B, C, and D is here. And round answer E to the 3 decimal places. So E is the average common shares outstanding. So the first step for me to solve this problem is to basically copy this table to my Excel sheet, which I already did here. So let me just pull out this worksheet. So in copying, you might need to do some adjustment because the format might not exactly match what you can see from this web page. So A is which all the numbers which we need to calculate are highlighted in yellow here. So A is basic earnings per share. So basic earnings per share is just the net income, right? It's the aggregate earnings, which is the net income, and then divided, and then we have to take out of the dividends to preferred stockholders. So that's basically the earnings available to the common stockholders, and then we're provided with the average common shares outstanding. So the basic earnings per share basically can be calculated by dividing the aggregate net income applicable to common stockholders by the average common shares outstanding, right? So let me just type that. C4 divided by C5. So then we have to go back to the rounding requirement A to round to 2 decimal places. I think that's what I did here. So I don't have to do any adjustment further. So B is the preferred stock dividends. In this column here, we know the basic earnings per share, and we know the number of shares outstanding. So from these two numbers, and from how we calculated the earnings per share from this year, 2015, we can actually back up the aggregate earnings applicable to common shareholders for 2014, which is basically the earnings per share, and then multiply by the common shares outstanding. And then we just need to pay attention to the rounding requirement. Here, here it's C. B, C, and D are of the same rounding requirement to the nearest median. So we just here, I think the unit is directly million dollars, because if you read this this sentence here says the millions of dollars, except for share amounts. So then we just need to do basically round this B, C, and D, right? Round these numbers, or to just keep no decimal places. So D2, keep that no decimal places, number and 0 here. So this is my net income applicable to common shareholders. And then from that, we can actually also back off the preferred stock dividends, which is because we know that net income minus preferred stock dividends equals net income applicable to common shareholders. So preferred stock dividends must be equal to the net income minus the net income applicable to common shareholders. Right? So that's for 2014. And 2013, we can basically follow similar steps. So you can see that this question, the purpose of this question is basically to examine our familiarity with the relationship among these variables. Some of them are aggregate and some of them are per share. So to solve for this year's two numbers, net income and average common shares outstanding, we can first solve for the average common shares outstanding because we know that the basic earnings per share multiplied by average common shares outstanding equal to net income applicable to common shareholders. So this must be equal to net income applicable to common shareholders divided by the basic earnings per share. Right? So that's basically the relationship. And then for E, we also have to go back to the rounding requirement. E is to round to 3 decimal places. So here I need to make the adjustment. Format cells to keep 3 decimal places. And with this number and also with the net income applicable to common shareholders and the preferred stock dividends, we can also back out the net income, right? Because net income minus preferred stock dividends equals net income applicable to common shareholders. So net income must be equal to the sum of these two. Net income applicable to common shareholders and then preferred stock dividends. All right, so we're done. The rest of the job is simply to copy the number back. So let me do that. Copy the number back. Wrong place. And this one. Okay, I think I'm done. Now I can check my answers. All right.